Thanks for tuning in to the Pure Advocates. I'm your host, Muhammad Olo, and today we have a special guest, my brother Dejuan.
What's going on? What's going
How
on?
you feeling, brother?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good, man. It's Christmas today.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Appreciate you, bro. Happy holidays to you as well.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. And let's get into it, man. This is our second episode, and it's titled Discipline Through Sports. I got my brother Dejuan here. You know what I'm saying? I met him over a decade ago at the 24-hour fitness in Kent. A lot of you know Dame Lilliard. You know what I'm saying? 10 years ago, this was my Dame Lilliard. You know what I mean? His brother pulling up from the logo, man. That shot was unstoppable, man.
For real, man.
Yeah. How did you practice that? What was that like?
Man, you know what's crazy? So when in high school, I played football and basketball.
Right.
And I was more a football player than a basketball player, but I could play both. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in the city, you got to be able to play everything.
Right.
In high school, I was a defensive player.
Right.
And so I didn't really like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I had some offensive game, but I was like strong defense. Like I'm locking everybody down.
Right.
So then after high school, I said, you know what? I got to be able to do more out here. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be like a star.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? You know what I'm about to start doing? What me and Rome started to do was
shout out Rome. That's my homie.
Yeah. Me and Rome started to go to 24-hour fitness, and we about to hoop.
Right.
And so like obviously when you hooping with the homies, you're gonna try whatever.
Right.
Whatever goes,
Right.
So I got my confidence because I just I was like, I want to be different. You know what I'm saying? And at 5'10", I couldn't really I didn't have the athleticism to go up there and be dunking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, I gotta be on this perimeter. I got to make this work, right?
If it's not the bounce, it got to be the shot.
Right. So I had a little step back.
Right.
And I just said, I said, you know what? I'm shooting from deep. I'll take 2-3 steps past half court. I'm letting it go.
I'm letting it fly.
And once I seen it start to go in a little bit,
yeah.
I was like, okay, this is my shot.
Right.
So I'm finna do this.
Your confidence went up.
And I mean, we come to the gym. You remember we met y'all?
Yeah.
You, Mo. Shout out Mo.
Shout out Mo.
Moha. But yeah, we start coming to the gym with you guys, man. That shot started going, man. It was like, this is what I'm doing. so I mean, from that point forward, man, it was like this is it. This is my identity. I identified as that shooter that was coming 2 steps past half court and letting it go.
Right.
So
that's what's up,
yeah,
man. Yeah, I swear, man, on that pick and roll, every time I try to get through it, bro, it was too late, man. I'm like, damn, this guy didn't even wait for me to come up on defense.
A little bit of space is going. Come on, man. I'll come off the pick.
And if you haven't already, go grab your sea moss. It has 92 out of the 102 minerals your body needs, regulates blood sugar levels, great for detoxing and digestive health, balances thyroid issues, great for mental health. I usually mix it in my smoothies and soups. And my recipe is first thing in the morning when I wake up, I mix it with water. And I would do intermittent fasting up until 3 p.m. And then, I would eat then. But in between, I would just kind of fast. And that's the best way to lose weight and clean out and detox your body. Shout out to Stealth Media. If you're looking for any type of photography, commercial videos for your business, video editing, reach out to Stealth Media on Instagram @Stealth Media, and they'll take care of you.
I'm off the pick, and I'll wait. And I got the type of shot that I got is like I'll fade back and I kick my foot out. I don't know if you remember.
I remember that.
So you know what I'm saying? Like you gonna run into that foot, and then I'm leaning all the way back to shoot it.
Yeah.
Man, you gonna have to be 6'10" to get up on me, man.
It was unstoppable, bro.
Yeah.
For sure, man. Yeah, let's get into it, man. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we both come from the inner cities of Washington, and so we didn't really have too many role models and people that helped us along the way, and so I feel like through sports, we had gained a lot of success, and we were able to stay disciplined and just kind of it kind of shielded us from a lot of things out there that could have took us to the down the wrong path. And so let's get into it, bro. Give us a little bit of background of yourself and your upbringing. What was it like and all that?
So, man, I'm from the inner city of Seattle, mainly like Columbia City, Rainier Beach area.
South
Seattle, you know what I'm saying? I grew up around there, man. I was a kid, man, around there, down at Rainier Playfield. Rainier Playfield is where like a lot of ball players came from. You got guys like Nate Robinson. You got guys like Jamal Crawford was down there. Yeah. You got all them guys down there. So when I was younger, they was like 4, 5, 6 years older than me. Growing up in that inner city, man, it was kind of like you see those guys. but you know, like we didn't really get too close to them,
Right?
Because they was older, and they're not really hearing the little guys. They'll come and say what's up, But then you know, you ain't really gonna get you can see and watch. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But see, I think seeing all them guys at an early age, you know, playing football down there at Rainier, it just made me want to be hungry. You know what I'm saying? I was 7 years old when I first played. It was like 95. Right. And I remember being out there, man, we was on a halftime show, bro, playing football. Right, so you know, we was on a halftime show. So pretty much we was on the 89ers, and then the 89ers, it was like, you know, obviously the 8, 9-year-olds were the big kids. Right. 7-year-olds, they was kind of the smaller kids, and we got in during the halftime. Right, so we had our halftime 7-year-olds was playing against the other team's halftime 7-year-olds. It was a little just like pity game type. Exactly. And so I don't know, man. Growing up in that system down there, Rainier, and seeing like all these kids like develop to be, you know, like just good athletes. You know, you wanted more. You know, coming. So, anyways, I grew up down there, and we eventually like moved to like Skyway in the Renton area. Right. But I still played all my sports in the inner city in South Seattle, right? Right. So
that's where most competition was. So you wanted to be around that.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's where I kind of wanted to be, and that was like, you know, I knew everybody from around there. So when we were like younger, we played against like West Seattle, Dale Ridge. Yeah. We played against like Central District, CAYA, all the way down there, Berrien, of course, Rainier Beach. Cause we was at Rainier in Columbia City, so we played against Rainier Beach. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we was the rivals, like Rainier and Rainier Beach.
I remember, I heard about. I never went to one of those. I never went to those games, but I heard a lot about them.
Yeah. So I mean, that just made me hungry, bro. And it's like, you know, like I got friends from everywhere. You know, from Kent. Like you guys, you know, Federal Way. I mean, even on the east side, Bellevue. You know what I'm saying? We got Everett. You know, a little bit of everywhere. So, like, you know, just growing up, I just knew a lot of people out here just from playing sports.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Yes, sports is, you know, it brings people together.
Look, I got literally like there's probably like 6 of us best friends that I grew up with. I met them all when I was 7, bro. And I'll be telling my son like, look, I met all my best friends when I was little league football at 7 years old. They're still my friends to today. I'm 32 years old.
Day one.
You know what I'm saying? I met them playing sports. Right. You know, these are my bros. You know what I'm saying? I love them to death. You know what I'm saying? So. I just think like sports, man, it was so great, like for us, you know, growing up, man, we didn't have much going on. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in that inner city, there was a lot of resources. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it was just only sports. Right. And you know what I'm saying? I think they might have had like a PlayStation 1 come out, but everybody's parents couldn't really afford that.
Nobody.
So it was like go outside. Right. You know, we're going outside, we're going to the park playing basketball, and then after we get done playing basketball at the park, hey, we going to the field and playing football. Right. Yeah, we're doing like 2 a days. Like, okay, yeah, bring your cleats and bring your hoop shoes. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Yeah, that's wonderful, man. That's a wonderful upbringing, bro. That's crazy, you know, because I come from the same, you know, similar background. I grew up in Kent, you know, like so the 24-hour fitness, like those apartments right across the street. They're now named, I think, Birch Creek, but back in the day it was called Springwood. Okay. And so majority of the people that lived there were like, you know, Africans. You know, you have people like Russians, West Africans, and then you had like Islanders and natives, and so it was all like minority people that lived there. And so it was the same thing, you know. And you know, growing up, it was like, you know, we had sports. We had the rec center. You know, they provided a lot of events for us. You know, summertime basketball tournaments, soccer tournaments. You know, they took us on field trips and all that. But ultimately, I feel like it was the engagement through sports that kind of made a big difference in a lot of our lives, because you know what I mean. It kept us busy. You know, like. We didn't really, you know, we start competing at a young age, and you know, a lot of our friends, everybody, you know, we would all link up, and so what we had available back then was we didn't have a lot available back then, but what we have now is, you know, we have all these resources, but it's like we're not capitalizing on it. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so. And that's kind of where I want to, you know, get into the next segment. Is like, you know, give us a little bit of a background of your basketball background.
So what ended up happening with me? So like I said, I played both, you know, growing up. And so when I got to high school, I was like, okay, I was way more dominant in football than basketball. I was, you know, one of the top quarterbacks in the state in 2006.
Oh, you were a quarterback?
I was a QB. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I was a QB, bro. Yeah, I was Russell Wilson before Russell Wilson. no cap. I was really Russell Wilson.
I believe it.
I had all them little spin moves, and I really wanted to run every time. You know, if my teammates is watching this from high school, they know I wanted to run and not pass. Right. But I had an arm. Right. But anyways, so you know, like so how I really got the basketball stuff going in college was, so I ended up taking a scholarship to a small junior college called Mendocino College in Ukiah, California, right?
Right.
So we get out there. We get out there.
Come up close a little bit.
We get out there to Mendocino College.
Yeah.
And one of my homies from here, he went to Chief Sealth High School. He just so happened to be going there too, right?
Right.
So we get there. We catch the Greyhound over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause we couldn't catch a flight in the Ukiah.
Yeah.
So we catch the Greyhound. It's like super northern California. It's like a little bit up from Oregon, a little bit by Redding, kind of over there.
Right.
So we get there. We're fresh off the Greyhound, bro. It's like 105 degrees. We're like, bro, this is hot. We come from Seattle. It ain't that hot.
Right.
So we get there. Everything's cool. We get into the to the school. We practice for like 2-3 weeks, and then they was like, look, you guys aren't going to be, we thought we was going to be on scholarship, right?
Right.
So they were like, okay, your financial aid is going to cover you, which is fine. We was low income. So we came in, we was going to get the financial aid. It was going to be cool, right?
Right.
So we get there and they're like, okay, well, we've been burned for the last couple of years having kids come in. Mainly it was like the kids from Florida. Right. They were coming in, getting their Pell Grants and their financial aid money and then dipping back to the crib. So, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't even playing. They'll come, practice for a couple weeks, and then boom, like as soon as that little Pell Grant go through, they'll get through, I think it was like, I don't know, 3,500, 4,000.
Right.
Oh, they'll catch the flight back to the crib, bro. You know what I'm saying?
and go right back to Florida and party.
Yeah. So they was like, nah, we're not doing that this year. What we're gonna do is all the kids that that get the Pell Grant, we want you guys to pay for school first,
right?
And then we'll reimburse you, which is fine,
right?
But we ain't got no money.
Exactly.
Like we ain't got no front money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah, like we ain't doing that. So I end up going up the road. This is for football. Right. I end up going up the road to West Valley College in Saratoga, California. And I ended up playing, long story short, I ended up playing in a game there, and the coach put me in one time the whole game. So I get up there like maybe 3 weeks before the game started. Right. They let me practice. They put me on, and they're like, pretty much like, I feel like I had the talent to play. I really want to play offense. Right. But they was like, okay, we're going to put you on defense right now. So I'm like, whatever. Right. So first game comes around, man, this dude puts me in once the whole game, right? Mind you, growing up, I'm 18 at this point. Growing up, bro, I've never been benched. I've always been one of the best players or the best player on any team I've ever played on. Right. So it was a learning point for me, because what happened was when I got up there in college, I thought I was like the man, and they was treating me like, dude, get in line.
This guy.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, nah. Yeah. So the first game came around, and they put me in once the whole game. Like, Dejuan, get out there and block a punt. It's like fourth down. I'm like, bro, I don't block punts. That's not me. I throw touchdowns and run them. Right. And he's like, so I run out there. I go for a block, but I didn't even know how to do that, man. I ain't never had to do stuff like that. Right. And so he takes me out the game. Man, he doesn't put me in no more. And literally, I felt so bad. I was so down on myself. And I said, no, this can't be right. And I went in that locker room, man, and I took all my stuff off, all my football, all my shoulder pads, my helmet, everything. I hung everything up in that locker. Right. This was a Saturday. I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I want to come home. And she was like, all right. She got me the ticket. I was gone by Tuesday.
You was out of
I was gone, bro. I couldn't do it. So when it happened, I get back to the house. Right. I get back to Seattle, and she's like, okay, well, you got to get a job. You're not about to just sit around here. Right. And all my homies are in school playing ball. I got a couple cats. Matter of fact, Mark and Ron was at Green River playing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They was playing at Green River. I had my bro Dante playing football at Eastern Washington. Homie Jeff up there playing at Eastern. My guy Myron was at the time. He was in Weber State, I believe. I had a couple guys everywhere. Right. So I'm like the only guy that from the graduating class of 06 that's like at the house. So I'm
like, what's going on?
Yeah. So I'm like, nah, this can't be right. So what ended up happening, bro, is literally like, and this was a mistake. This was a huge mistake. At the time, it was like, okay, I was super thirsty because I'm like, I got to do something. I got to get somewhere. Right. So what I did was I ended up going up to Green River with Rome and Mark, and I'm like, hey, I asked our coach, I'm like, hey, can I get on the team? He's like, well, we're literally, in this quarter already, but you can start playing at the second half, So I'm like, all right, cool. So I waited around. I was practicing with him, bro. Worst decision ever, literally. I played that half of season, and literally, I probably came off the bench. I shot pretty good. I was shooting pretty well, but Mark was our star. He was going for 40. Ooh. He was going for 40. He was killing. Damn. You know what I'm saying? And I had to play that second half, and I came off the bench. I ended up failing all my classes because I didn't show up for finals. Right.
Right.
So I'm gonna show you the break.
I've been there.
Through the podcast, through this time, I'm gonna show you the breakdown.
Yeah.
So it wasn't good. It wasn't looking good at first, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Eventually I turned around, but I'm gonna take you through the process.
Absolutely.
So anyways, I ended up failing all my classes, and I finessed myself. I was like, I think it's going to be next week, knowing that it was going to be this week, but I didn't study, and I didn't want to like go up there and face it and fail.
Right.
So I was just like telling everybody, I missed the finals. I didn't know. Can I make it up?
Yeah.
I was just playing the game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I failed all my finals. It's March. Season's over, so I burned a whole year playing half of a year.
Right.
Terrible. Never play half a season. I that's not it, bro.
Right,
Don't be sit out and play a full
That's
season.
one advice for any up and coming basketball player.
Any basketball, football, soccer,
Any sport.
any collegiate athletes, man, do not take a half of a season.
Right.
So I took that half a season. So now I burned a whole year. So now I'm a sophomore with 0 credits.
Right.
So there's no way I'm playing in the fall.
Right.
Because you need 24 credits to be eligible.
Right.
So I knew that. So what I did was I said, okay, growing up in the inner city, I still have my street ties.
Right.
So I was like, okay, well, all my sports guys are back at, in school.
Right.
I kind of turned to my street guys. You know what I'm saying?
Tell us about
I kind of turned to my street guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the street.
And,
there's a lot of real street dudes out there too.
So I turned to my street guys, and I'm like, well, these are the only ones here. All the rest of my sports guys are gone.
Right.
So I turned to my street guys. I'm like, man, I'm a hustle.
Right.
Because so they was like, well, you can go to summer school. I'm like, I'm not going to summer school because I'm not going to be eligible in the fall. I was stubborn.
Right.
So no, I'm gonna just go to school in the fall.
Right.
I'm about to have it my
the
way
whole
from
summer off.
March till September.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I got in the streets and started doing little stuff, and it eventually led me down a rough path because this would end up happening. So I was doing my little thing, hustling, whatever, in the streets from about March till August, and I was burned out by August. I said, okay, I'm gonna go back to school. I'm done with this. I got my little money. I'm cool. I'm chilling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I got back in school, right? And this is how that karma will get you, right? So I got back in school, bro, at Green River.
Right.
And I was in Green River. I was at Green River for about maybe school started in September. I was there till I had an accident.
Right.
So I ended up getting shot in October. The end of October.
I think you told me this a long time ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I ended up getting shot.
I got shot in my leg, so I was just it was random. I was riding in one of my friend's cars, and his car got shot up, and I was in there, wrong place, wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I was back in school. I was trying to do things right, and boom, that happened. So I was embarrassed. I was it was a flesh wound, so it didn't it just went through like my calf, and came out the other way, and missed my bone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So thankfully it did. So I ended up saying like, you know what? After that happened, I was laying down. I was like just chilling in my bed, and then I remember my homie Myron hit me. Man, Myron Beck played at Washington State football.
Right.
Myron hit me. All my friends kept hitting me, but Myron hit me. He was like, bro, you good? He was checking up me. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. He's like, man, you should come out here to Glendale, Arizona. I'm like, where? He's like, bro, they're handing out scholarships for football.
Right.
Because, you know what I'm saying? Because he played at Ingram in high school.
Right.
And so I'm like, he's like, bro, I just signed with Wazoo. I'm going up there in the spring.
Ooh.
I said, stop. He said, yes, bro. They're handing them out.
Right.
And, he knew I got game.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bro, well, can you take my high school film and give it to your coach?
He's a real one, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
There's not a lot of dudes that do that.
Oh, he threw me the lob.
Right.
So check it out. So he's like, here, send me your film. I'm gonna give it to my coach. Boom. He gave it to his coach. His coach was like, it's a go. Can you come in the spring? I'm like, I look at my leg. I'm like, yeah. He's like, can you get there? Can you get there by it was like January 12th, 2008.
Right.
I was there.
Yeah.
January 12th, 2008. I was back running. You feel me?
Right.
Because I didn't need stitches.
Right.
So it healed on its own. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so I was good. I got there January 12th, 2008, man, and man, I had my guy that went to Mendocino with me initially.
Right.
I had him come up there too.
Oh, okay.
So I brought him up there, and then my homie Mike
tagging all the homies in.
Yeah, my homie Mike was there. He was already there with Myron. Mm-hmm. He stayed.
Right.
And we all moved in together, man, and everything changed, bro, from that point forward. Right, when I got to Arizona, bro, my life changed. I had to get away. Right, California just wasn't the move at the time.
You got away from your circle and your surroundings, something that you've been around your whole life.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it kind of opens up your mind when you go to a different place.
100%. That was my comfort zone being here.
Right.
So when I really left my comfort zone, I was ready.
Right.
And it was like there was nobody else around me to bring me down. There was nobody else around me to like, I was an all around nothing but sports players.
Right.
Once
so
again,
you versus you.
Yeah. So I got out there, man, and what's crazy is before I left, I ended up reaching out to the basketball coach too.
Right.
At that same school, and I was like, "Hey, I'm coming down there to play on the football team.
Right.
Like, you think I could play on the basketball team too? I just played at Green River College in Seattle, so I already played college. I had college experience."
Right,
he was like, "Yeah, cool." So check it out. So I get there, bro. I'm literally it's January. It's hot as hell in AZ.
Right.
So I think it was like 90. It was like 90. It was like 90 at the time.
Shit.
So I'm going from football practice to basketball practice, probably like 2 or 3 days a week. We're doing spring ball for football, and then basketball's actually in season, but we're actually like practicing, but they're in season. I'm just on the practice team.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I'm going from back and forth. I ended up getting a friend, man. His name is TJ Campbell, man. Shout out to TJ Campbell. He's still playing ball to this day, man. One of the good guy that I met, man. I'm gonna tell you guys more about him later on in the story or whatnot. Right. But I ended up getting out there, and long story short, I had to make up a lot of credits because remember. I ended up after I had my injury, I dropped out again. Right. And then I waited till January and left to Arizona. Right. And then so I had 0 credits. Right. So by the time I got to AZ. Right. And I'm a sophomore, eligibility wise. So I had to make up 24 units at some point in time before I play. Right. So I knew it's January. There's no way I'm getting 24 units by September. No. So I knew this year was done again. Right. So I'm just grinding this year. Right. I'm building rapport this year. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I get down. I ended up passing a couple classes. Long story short, I ended up transferring to South Mountain Community College because after that.
Where's that at?
That's in Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
It's probably 20 minutes from Glendale.
Okay.
So what ended up happening at Glendale? They like maybe 2 months into me practicing for both teams. Right. The coaches had a meeting. They're like, Dejuan, we feel like you're burning yourself out. We want you to choose one sport. I'm like, but wait, you guys told me I can play both coming down here. Right. He's like, well, we want you to give it your all in one. So I was kind of salty. So at the time, I'm like, nah. All my homies that I was really like rocking with back at the crib that I would be talking to was all hoopers. I kind of fell out of touch with my football guys. Right. So I was like. Okay,
you're trying to tap in with both
worlds. I'm gonna play basketball. And me and Ron was coming off that run. You feel me at 24 with you guys, so hooping. Yeah. So I'm hooping. Right. So I told the coach, I said I'm gonna hoop. So the hoop coach let me practice until like May, till the semester was over. And at the end of the semester, we all go home for the summer and then come back. Right. He's like, you're not gonna be eligible, so I don't think that I'm gonna keep you around. Ooh. So I'm like, ooh. Yeah. Okay. So whatever. I'm at this point, I'm in Arizona. I'm not going nowhere until I'm playing somewhere. Right. There's probably 7 or 8 other junior colleges in an hour radius. Like, like one 20 minutes away, another 15, 30 minutes away. Right. I'm going to try one of these schools. Right. And I'm hooping. I'm done with football. It's hoop. Like I was like, I'm going to get it. Right. So I ended up going to try. I ended up coming home for the summer. I went back in the fall with nothing. Like, it was just like, I'm going to figure it out. I told moms, I'm figuring it out. So I get back to AZ, and I stayed with one of my friends for a couple weeks before I got my spot in Mesa, right? Right. So I ended up going over to Mesa Community College and walking in the gym, and the coach was like, hey, I was like, I'm trying to, try out for the team. He was like, well, we already have our team, but we have this class that you can enroll in, and it's for a month long, and then we'll pull 3 guys out of this class. Right. You know what I'm saying? That we like. And the class consisted of probably like 50 or 60 guys. Right. So I'm from Seattle. We hoop. Right. So what's up? I ain't really worried about it.
Let's do it.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was. I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. Right. Whatever. So I'm in this class. Check this out. The story's crazy. Mm-hmm. I'm in this class balling. Right. I ended up bringing my other bro, Chris Russell. Right. He was playing at a JUCO in Southern Cal. He hit me up like, bro, I'm trying to come up there. I'm like, come on. Like, come up here. Yeah. Like, come deal with me up here. Right. So he ended up, bro, he caught the Greyhound. Because remember, he caught the Greyhound from the LA to AZ. And I'm like, here, bro. Like, you good. I had the 1 bedroom. I'm like, we can share it. Right. Come on. So I put him in the class with me. Me and him, we in the class balling. Right. Well, there's another dude balling in the class too, right? I don't even know who this dude is. Yeah. But he's killing. Right. And he's killing harder than me.
Always that one dude nobody really knows.
He's killing harder than me, right? Right. So I'm like, I'm killing. But this dude, like, I'm looking like, you look over like as a competitor. Yeah. Like, man, dude, killing over there. Facts. Right? Check it out. They ended up, so me and this other dude, and I'm going to let you know who this other dude is in a minute because it's funny. So me and this other dude's killing in this class by far. Right. They cut They cut my homie. They cut the other dude. They cut us all.
Yeah.
And then they told me, oh, you're not going to be eligible, so we don't want to keep you around, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So mind you, this is fall of 08.
Right.
So this is fall of 08. So I'm like, dang, this is second school, man.
Right.
So I don't know what I'm going to do, right?
Frustration.
So I said, okay. No, I'm not stopping. I remember one of my homies from Seattle hit me up. Dre hit me and was like, man, I'm at this school, South Mountain. This is probably like a year before I got there, right?
Right.
And I remember I'm like, where's this South Mountain school at? I remember they didn't have a football team. They were like the only team that didn't have a football team. So I was like, where's this school at? It's in Phoenix somewhere. So I found it. I located it, right?
Right.
So walked down there. This is like maybe 2 days after I just got cut from Mesa Community College.
Right.
So mind you, I'm cut at Glendale Community College, cut at Mesa Community College. This is all the same league.
Right.
Check it out.
Yeah.
So I go down to South Mountain Community College. I walk in the gym. There was this coach named Andy Jensen. He just got there from Weber State. He was on the staff at Weber State. Him and his family wanted to move to Phoenix, so he took the job at South Mountain. He's brand new. So I went in there, and I'm like, hey coach, my name is Dejuan Lofton. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I'm trying to hoop. He looked at me up and down, straight up. He looked at me up and down and was like, you're not very tall. I'm like, bro, let me hoop, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, okay, I see you. He's like, what, you putting cards? Yeah. He's like, I'll tell you what. So mind you, this is October.
Right.
Season's about to start in like a week or two.
Right.
He's like, I'll let you practice with my guys today. And if I like what I see, I'll keep you around to practice.
Yep, that's how they always do it.
Yeah. So,
They just wanna see your game.
that was all I needed. I had my shoes there. I got my shoes in the car. I'm ready to go. Bro, look, I went out there and I was running I knew what time it was.
Yeah.
I was running at these boys.
Right.
And he was like, okay, you can stick around. Check this out.
Yeah.
So mind you, when we was at Mesa Community College, my homie C. Russ, we ended up getting a little bro. We had a little bro. His name was Mike. Shout out to Mike from the East Coast. We would be kicking it. We, because we was going to school together. We was on a little class team or whatever together.
Yeah.
We all got cut.
Right.
But we were still kicking it afterwards. So I'm like, after like 2 weeks of practicing at like South Mountain, I'm like, coach, man, you think I could bring my two guys in here with me to be on the practice team? And he's like, they any good? I'm like, yeah. And we can practice against your starting five.
Right.
And he's all right. Boom. I brought C. Russ and Mike in there. Right. So now we in the building. We practicing, we running that cats, everything, right? So long story short, bro. I end up playing. He ended up getting fired because they went like 4 and like 20 something.
Right.
It was terrible. He ended up getting fired because they brought back the coaches that were there the previous years.
Right.
They left and went to Grand Canyon University.
Right.
Those coaches, because they did so well, they left and took the Grand Canyon, which was D2 at the time.
Right.
They took that job. Well, they ended up getting canned at Grand Canyon after that season because Grand Canyon was about to go Division I. Right. And they was bringing in the U of A, the University of Arizona coach, to come and coach there, right?
Yeah.
So they let those coaches go. So then South Mountain let this new coach go and brought in, the old coaches that was winning. Right. So I'm like, Jensen loved me. I mean, he loved me, bro. Like, he let me do like whatever. I was about to be LeBron up in there. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so he's like, you know what? He said, he departed. He had to leave. So these new coaches is coming. I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to re-impress these guys. Right. Because I had this dude sold on me. Right. After I've been grinding. I got cut over here. Right. I finally found a situation that was, that was into me. Right. And new coaches, I gotta re-impress these guys.
You gotta get to know them and all that stuff.
So I ended up re-impressing and did well. And Coach Nichols and Corey, Coach Wallace, and Coach Vo and them guys, and they loved me, but I just wasn't eligible. So long story short, I ended up getting eligible in January of 2010. Right. But it was only for half the season. Right. So they're like, we was playing Arizona Western, and they're like, Dejuan, you're eligible and you can play this half of the season, which is going to be a whole year. Mind you, that's going to be 2 years. I played 2 half seasons.
Under your belt.
Yeah, bro. And so I was like, but I knew that if I didn't play then right here, my clock already started in 2007 of January. Right. My Division I clock to go D1. Right. And these guys, you guys listen about the clock situation. I'll tell you guys about the clock situation. It's crucial. Right. So 2007 January, my clock started. So now it's January of 2010. Right. So in Division I, you get 5 years to play 4.
Right.
It's very important to play D1. D2 is a little different. They're all semesters, and then D3 is different, and NAI is different. But D1, you get 5 to play 4.
Right.
So I knew that
you get 5 years, but it counts as 4.
So because you could use that 5th year as like, you know, red shirt,
right,
gray shirt, or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
that's dope.
Yeah. So they're like, you know what? They're like, he's like, if you play now, you know, you'll play half the season. We'll put you in. But I didn't know if I catch a rhythm. I might play terrible for this half season. You got to catch a rhythm, man. You can't just jump out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a rhythm out there.
Right.
So I'm like, but I knew I wanted to play D1 so bad. I'm like, this might be my only chance.
Right.
And I just said, you know what? You know, nah, I can't do that to myself. I need a full season.
Right.
I'm not gonna keep,
because you already been through that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do the same thing
now
twice.
you know going
so
forward,
I said
better.
it was tough.
Right.
I said, all right, nah, it's cool. Okay, boom. I waited. March came. Coach is like, okay, season's over. The keys are yours. You're the point guard. This coming fall.
Right.
I'm eligible now.
Right.
So I'm geeked. Like we had one returner. He was an All-American, Marcus Davis. And then we just had nobody else on the team. Like we had a bunch of new guys coming in.
Right.
And so check this out. So remember the dude I told you at Mesa Community College that was balling, that was killing.
Yeah.
Got cut like me.
Yeah.
So I'm chilling. I'm at South Mountain. Like, it's my team. Yeah. It's Marcus's team. Just me and his team. Mm-hmm. We about to have a bunch of fill-ins, right?
Right.
All of a sudden, man, I see him walk in the gym. His name is Terran. It's my guy.
Right.
Terran Brown, filthy.
Yeah,
One of the coldest cats I ever played with.
Right.
So I seen him walk in. I said, ooh. I'm like, oh, the coaches is going to be feeling him.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, ooh, okay. So bro came in right away and was filthy.
Going to work.
Same stuff he was doing at Mesa, right?
Yeah.
So we ended up getting a couple new guys. We getting this guy named BC, one of my good friends, BC, and a couple other guys on the team, right?
Right.
So we got into summer league, and we was getting smacked in summer league, right? Smacked.
Right.
This is the 2010. This is fall 10.
Right.
Or, summer 10 going into fall. Mm-hmm. So we ended up getting into the season, bro. Mm-hmm. And like I'll say about maybe like we got to about 9-0, right? We was projected to finish maybe 4th in league.
Right.
Bro, we got to 9-0 and we were number 1 in the nation. We were the number 1 junior college in the nation. This is national junior college, so it's different than Green River and all this out here.
I know.
This is the national junior college.
Right.
So we were the number 1 team in the nation.
Right.
So I'm tripping, bro. I'm the starting point guard on this team.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
damn.
I didn't expect all this. I just expected to play, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And, bro, we got to like, I think it was like, I don't know, 24, 25-0.
Right. Damn.
And yeah, bro, we was number 1 the whole year.
Oh,
and we ended up playing so this is crazy. So we're killing.
Right.
We're all killing. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing the point guard role. Terran's our star.
Right.
And Marcus is kind of behind him. And then BC and everyone else is kind of like falling in, you know what I'm saying, doing their part.
Right.
But Terran, like, he was going for like, bro, I was telling you yesterday when we was talking, when we played against Diggs at Coach Cheese, he gave them guys 61 and 10. You know what I'm saying? That was the year we was number 1.
Right.
So, anyways, long story short, bro, we end up getting to the championship game, and mind you, we're number 1, so they're automatically assuming we're about to go to nationals.
Right.
But we had to win our championship game, how they had it set up. Versus our rival, Phoenix College,
right,
in order to get our tickets punched. True story. Coach told us they already had our tickets, our flights, and everything for us. Yeah. Mind you, they had to pick the winner of this game was going to get. They was going to pick the flights and stuff like that.
Right.
But we were so favored that they already had our stuff punched.
Ooh,
we lost. Bro, we lost, bro. We lost, bro. And we lost, man. And that was a sad time, but yeah, that's that story though.
Yeah.
So
that's what's up, man.
Yeah, man.
What'd you learn out of that whole situation?
Man, well, what I learned, I had to go a little further to tell you exactly what I learned. Let me go just a little further. So I ended up signing with so I couldn't go D1.
Yeah.
But I was getting recruited by Weber State. You talk about Damian Lillard. Yeah. I was getting recruited by Weber State and Stephen F. Austin heavy.
Right.
And they wanted to sign me, but I only had 1 year D1 on my clock.
Right.
So I didn't know Lillard at the time, but he was the point guard at Weber State.
Right.
So he was going to be a senior. If I was to go there, I was going to be a junior, obviously playing with him, and then he was going to go wherever he was going, and I was going to take over senior year. Right. So that's crazy you was talking about him.
Yeah.
So long story short, when the D1s couldn't sign me, I'm getting top top 5 D2 schools on my line.
Right.
So, because I was D1 recruit coming from the national
Absolutely.
number 1 team in the nation. So, boom. I ended up signing with Washburn University in Kansas, Topeka, Kansas. They were, I think, top 3, top 4 at the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, the reason why I signed with them was because they played a big schedule. So every year they played 3 D1 teams. So I'm like, if I can't play D1, I need to play against these D1s to build my resume because I eventually want to go overseas.
That's smart.
So, the overseas team, they want to see who you play against.
Yep.
What teams you play against, what numbers you put up.
Right.
So I said, well, I need to go to a school that plays these games.
Right.
They were perfect. They played KU. They played Oklahoma University. So Big 12 teams, UNLV. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I need that.
You need, absolutely. Get that exposure.
Yeah. So I ended up going out there, bro. I played, man.
How many years did you play out there?
So I played a half a season there.
Oh, okay.
I played half a season, right? So this breakdown's crazy. I played half a season there. So mind you, I came in off the number 1 team in the nation. So I'm coming in, I guess you can say, with as a favorite.
Right.
With some pub behind me.
Right.
He's a number JUCO team.
Yeah, it's filthy.
I was coming in highly recruited.
Right.
Man, I get out there, bro, and they wasn't feeling me. They wasn't feeling me, bro. Like the coach, he was high up on me before I got there.
Yeah.
But what happened was, I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was, the game that I have, right? The game that I have, the shooting, all that.
Right.
When I was at South Mountain that year, I took a role.
Right.
Because we had guys that can play that.
Right.
And they were a little taller, a little bit more athletic, and they
Right.
could finish, right? So I took the straight point guard role because I knew how to play point guard.
Right.
And I was, playing defense, assisting, coming off, shooting my 3 when I'm open.
Right.
But I wasn't doing too much.
Right.
That was my role, right?
Right.
So Washburn knew that guy. But I was like, man, wherever I go next, man, I'm shooting every shot. And if I gotta go D2, I'm shooting everything.
Right.
So they wasn't gonna get that guy. They was recruiting that point guard.
Right.
But I told myself, and I promised myself, wherever I go next, especially if I gotta go D2, I'm putting them up.
Right.
Because I didn't get to really put them up at South Mountain. Mm-hmm. I'm putting them up.
Right.
So when I got there, bro, I'm like the first month and a half at the NCAA level, the coaches can't be in the gym.
Right.
So it's gonna be ran by the captains and whatnot.
Right.
Man, I'm in there killing them boys, bro. Like step backs, everything, just floaters, the whole 9. I'm killing.
Right.
Not missing, right?
Right.
Bro, the players start feeling some kind of way because they were under their impression they were getting just a true point guard.
Right.
But they got Kobe in there that was shooting everything and making everything though. Mm-hmm. So they were like, wait a minute. Nah. So what ended up happening was for years, bro, that situation bothered me because so what ended up happening there, so we played UNLV our first game in Vegas.
Right.
And coach was like, all right, Dejuan, we're gonna bring you off the bench.
Right.
But we're gonna play the whole game.
Right.
I was like, whatever. I don't talk back to my coaches. That's it's never. Even if I feel some kind of way, I never talk back.
Yeah,
I just play through.
You gotta
it.
respect.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I respect my elders. Yeah. So we get out to Vegas. We're beating them the whole game, and we end up losing it by I think it was 3. And I took the last shot at the end, and I missed it. So I was a 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
So that game I shot 1 for 7, right? And he was like, oh, in his head, oh, this guy making all these shots in practice, but he ain't really hitting in the game. So, I don't know. That was my first big game.
Yeah.
Now, I played, growing up against, a bunch of league guys here and all that, but it's different.
It's different.
In an actual game, big lights, big arena. That was my first time playing in that environment.
Yeah.
With
absolutely.
Cameras, TV game.
Yeah.
I wasn't say I was nervous, but I mean, man.
Right.
When you play.
Bright lights is different.
Yeah. They had the breakaway hoops, the ones, where there's no background, bro.
Oh,
the breakaways, when you the push in ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bro, it's like you're on an island when you're shooting on those things.
Right.
I don't know if you ever shot on one of those things.
No.
One of them hoops. Mm. And so they're not like the regular hoops that drop down.
Yeah.
They're the pull in ones, bro. So they'll pull them in that parking lot, and it's just open. So it looks like it's hard to shoot on those.
Yeah,
Well, really, you got to practice on those.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's almost like double rim.
Yeah. Well, so I ended up shooting bad. We played against Oklahoma the next game, Oklahoma Sooners. I shot bad that game. I think it was 2 for 6.
Right.
I didn't start.
Yeah.
And literally, bro, we played our first D2 opponent that next game. He put me in. I played the whole game in both of those games.
Right.
But this D2 game, which was the third game, the first D2 opponent we played, bro, he put me in maybe for like 2 minutes the whole game.
Ooh.
And I'm like, ooh, what's he on?
Right.
Bro, I didn't.
You was probably not cooking in practice?
I didn't play again. I didn't play another minute.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
That was personal.
He benched me from there on out. He wouldn't be like, any coach that's coaching you.
Right.
Like, coach me. Like, if I'm doing something wrong,
yeah.
like,
let me know.
Come and tell
Straight
me.
Up, yeah.
Hey, Dejuan, you're
I don't like the coaches, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me say something real quick. So there's a lot of coaches out there, bro. They don't recruit, based on talent. You know what I'm saying? A lot. There's a lot of coaches out there. They recruit based off of feelings and they don't. I don't know, man. It's different, bro. I got cut in the 10th grade. At Kent Lake High School. Okay. And I was killing everybody. I'm not gonna lie. During the tryout, I was killing. I swear to God. And the coach cut me and he said, the security guard at the school was, he was a fan of me, just coming to watch me play and stuff. And so when he found out I got cut, he came to my class, my 4th period class, and he was like, what's going on? You got cut? I was like, yeah. He said, what's the reason? I said, the coach said I bad attitude. And so I'm like, so I went to go and talk to the coach, and it was like he didn't want to explain himself. He didn't want to talk to me and tell me what I did wrong. Right. And that same year, my cousin, Flip, shout out Flip, my cousin, he was actually in school with me, and he made the team with a broken leg.
What?
Yeah.
A broken leg?
Yeah, he had tore his ACL. He had a surgery. He was on crutches, and he didn't even try out, but he made the team, and I got cut. So, that just goes to show you that there's coaches out there that don't recruit based on talent. Right. And it's favoritism. There's a lot of favoritism out there.
Yeah. So at that school though, what ended up happening was, so he benched me, bro, till break, and I was like, nah, I gotta get out of here. Right. So, boom, I transferred out of there. But he wouldn't tell me nothing, bro. He wouldn't tell me what I'm messing up on or what, nothing. He was silent. Right. And mind you, I was going back to practice, acting like nothing happened. Every practice, practice hard, go hard. And he wouldn't say nothing to me. It was like he was like in love with me, bro. Like when he was recruiting me and all this, he was and then something happened. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Well, I really know what happened. Obviously, I ended up getting edged out. His son was on the team, and he was our starting center. He had a couple friends, that was on the squad, and they wasn't really feeling me, just because of the type of game I had. And I'm sure I got X'd out along the lines of, it was an inside deal. Right. And so, bro, I ended up transferring to a school in Oklahoma, and I ended up finishing there at USAO, Oklahoma. Had a good time there, bro. Right. I had a real good time at USAO, man. Shout out to USAO, man.
That's dope, man. That's what's up, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's jump right into your current career.
So now
I know you're an actor now.
Yep.
So how was that like? How did you go? How did you go from basketball to acting? Like, you know what I'm saying? What created that? Like, what sparked that up?
Yeah. So I'll tell you like this. So, I believe in God, bro. So I believe He put me in situations that led me to that. You know what I'm saying? Once I put it all together, you feel me? Right. So I'll say back in 2008 when I was playing basketball, when I was in NC, I was on the Judge Judy show. Super random. I went on there with my cousin. One of my play cousins ended up suing her best friend. We all was going to school in Arizona. Right. They're from here. Right. But they were going to Glendale Community College in AZ. Right. She ended up suing her friend for some stuff that happened, and she was like, oh, you want to get on the Judge Judy show with us? Like, I just, I guess she sent her case. It was like a small claims court. Right. So it was like under like $4,500. And she was like, I get to bring 2 people. I'm going to take you and my mom, since you was there on the scene with me, and my mom, I'm going to take you guys, whatever. Long story short, we go on the Judge Judy show. Boom, whatever. We leave. I go back to school. I'm playing basketball. I'm not really worried about that. Right. So, bro, I ended up, 2 years later, so mind you, I feel like that was one sign from God, but I wasn't paying attention. I was playing basketball. Right. 2 years later, 2010, at South Mountain, I ended up taking a film class. And I didn't think nothing of it. I just needed an elective, easy class, elective, boom.
That's a requirement, I think, in college.
The film class?
Yeah. Not a film, but drama or film.
I took it as an elective, right? Mm-hmm. So then the next year at Washburn, I majored in mass communication, media, which is media communication. Okay. I was learning about like off-Broadway, on-Broadway, and stuff like that. But I'm not thinking nothing of acting. Right. Long story short, 2013, after school in Oklahoma, I leave. At the time, I was trying to get custody of my son, right?
Right.
So I was going through a bunch of court stuff, whatever. It's my senior year in Oklahoma, right?
Right.
So I ended up leaving after that senior year, and a couple months down the line, I ended up going overseas to Germany to go play in Bonn, Germany, right?
Okay.
So I
remember that.
Yep, I was in Bonn, Germany for a few months. My homie TJ Campbell put me on with that move. Shout out TJ Campbell. That was telling my guy. He put me on with that. But I was out there, and I ended up coming back home to Seattle. They let me go, so I came back home to Seattle, and maybe like 2 months after I got back, I ended up getting custody of my son.
Right.
So I go out to AZ, Arizona, pick my son up, come back to Seattle.
Right.
I'm at mom's house. I'm chilling. Right. I don't know what I'm about to do, but I know I can't go overseas with this 1-year-old.
Exactly.
So I'm like, I got no other skills. I ain't never done nothing else besides play ball. I'm not trying to get a 9-to-5 and sit down at nobody's desk. So I'm like, man, what am I going to do? So long story short, my homie Mike hit me up. Mike that was in Arizona with me initially in 2008.
Yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah.
So he hit me up and was like, hey, bro, he got this security company that he it's his company, and he wanted to get some security guards for, I guess, one of his, upcoming contracts that he had. So he's like, Dejuan, reach out to some cats that in the city, see, if they want to work. Long story short, I ended up going down and working with him. We was working, I got down there, the first day I got down to work, I didn't know what we was going to be on. I didn't know what we was going to be doing. Right. Security for something. I don't know if it was a building, whatever. Mm-hmm. So we get down there, and we're on the set of this TV show called The Man in the High Castle. It's an Amazon original.
Right.
It's about like if the Germans won World War II instead of the U.S. or whatever, whatnot, right? So it's that kind of show. It's a big show though, and so we're working security guards on this show. We're not on the show, but around the show.
Right.
So when I got down there, bro, I'm looking around, I'm like, man, this is dope, bro. This is like a multi-million-dollar set. This is big time.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, after about 2 days, bro, I'm going places I ain't supposed to be going. I got security on my shirt. So if they say something to me, I'm like, I'm security, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm security, right?
Yeah.
So I get down there, man, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, and mind you, I was kind of trying to figure out what I was gonna do next with my life, anyways.
Right.
So I had that thought every day. I got this little 1-year-old. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling, like I'm taking care of him. I'm like, I gotta figure something out.
Right.
Bro, after 2 days, I said, this is what I want to do. I want to be an actor.
Ooh, okay.
Just like that.
Right.
So I start asking questions, bro. I'm hands-on. Hey, I'm seeing, people with the clipboards, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, they got headsets on. I'm like, hey, like, how do you become an actor? They're kind of spinning me off like, you might want to move to LA, you know what I'm saying? Or New York or somewhere, whatever. I'm like, okay. I asked somebody else. They said the same thing. So I'm like, dang, nobody ain't really giving me no insight or nothing, right?
Right.
So I'm like, okay, that's cool. I know what I'm going to do. So I said, I'm going to type in Google. I'm going to type in acting classes in Seattle.
Right.
Boom, typed in some acting classes in Seattle, man. I took a couple classes, and I was like, okay. I ended up doing this short film down in UW called Dead Woman Walking, maybe like 3 months after this.
Right.
And from that point forward, I said, I got to get to LA. I got to get to LA, bro. So
and that's where a lot of people go.
Yeah. So my one of my best friends was out there already modeling, Mark. You know Mark? Yeah. So Mark was out there doing his modeling thing. And so I'm like, man, I need to get to LA, bro. So I ended up getting to LA, getting up with him. And, bro, I ended up getting me a little job. I was bartending. And I just had to figure it out, bro. I went to a couple agencies and kind of was like, I need to get in the mix.
Right.
Went to a couple agencies. They was like, take a couple years, build your resume, come back and see us. I'm like, dang. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does an actor get work in LA, without an agent?
Absolutely.
So, I ended up figuring it out, man. And, it was a blessing, bro. I just, I kind of ran into the right people, and bam, it jumped in it, man. I was on my first reality show called The Twins Happily Ever After. It was on Freeform. Okay. It was the twins, the two blonde twins from The Bachelor TV show. Yeah. And so I was on there as a basketball player in one of their episodes, man. And then after that, I did some stuff on Love and Hip Hop. And a couple other shows, man.
I've seen those.
Yep, a couple. Yep, and after that, bro, I just I've been going ever since. Right. And just taking it one step at a time. And then I ended up getting an agent like 2 years ago. Okay. And then that made things a little easier because I was independent the first couple years or whatnot. Right. And I just been grinding, man. So now with that, now I'm more so focused on like TV series and feature films and stuff like that. Right. Roles and that kind of stuff, but. It's been great, man. It's been great.
Yeah, that transition is dope, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad that, you know what I'm saying, you were like, if this one thing doesn't work out, I'm going to move on to the next one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had to. I had to. I had this little guy with
There's
me.
a lot of people out there, you know what I'm saying, and they spend a lot of time chasing one thing and, doesn't turn out to the way that they thought it would. And so they kind of like take it hard on themselves and, and so, I just want to say like, you could do anything you want to do. If one thing doesn't work out, just keep going. Keep going. You know what I'm saying?
And that
Never quit. You only lose when you quit.
Right. That was my mentality. It was like, I'm gonna keep going. Right. I want to do something. I'm gonna do it. Right. And like, as soon as I got an actress, I'm doing it. I don't care if it take 10 years.
Exactly.
I'm out here. Like, they're gonna have to shut me down.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm kicking the door down, bro.
Absolutely.
I'm kicking the door down.
I want to ask you, brother, man, like, what's like, like I know you played so many colleges, you know what I'm saying? You play so many different sports. Like, what is a good work ethic to have? You know what I'm saying? If you want to play college basketball,
I would say a good work ethic is really just, man, being persistent. Being focused. Like those are the two things. Like being persistent, being focused is what like got me to where I needed to get to, right?
Right.
So it's like, when you go into situations, it's like if you're focusing on something and you're persistent at something, you're gonna get the results eventually.
Right.
But if you want to be a ball player, you go up in the gym and you're like, okay, everything's on YouTube now. You go on YouTube, you know play no ball. You look at YouTube, you can see all these drills, and you're like, okay, you got a ball, you got a consistent gym that you can work out on, or even a park.
Right.
If you're not focused and persistent at going and doing them drills,
right,
and just putting the ball in the hoop and playing basketball or playing football or whatever you're doing, soccer or whatever, like you're eventually gonna fall off because there's kids out there that's playing every day.
Right.
Every day, bro. They're training every day. They're doing drills. They're playing pickup games. They're doing that stuff every day. So a work ethic, man, that I definitely can relate to and what I push is just being persistent, bro, and having a lot of focus. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like a lot of focus, bro. Like those two things, you can't go wrong with.
What was your diet like in college? Because I know that's important.
So the diet wasn't my diet was terrible in college. Now, I'm more, on some healthy stuff. But me and Mark was talking about this the other day. I was like, we was like, bro, we would be tired as heck in them games because our diets was so whack. Bro, we're eating Popeyes every day. I'm drinking sodas. I'm drinking liquor and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? My friends, going out partying, college parties and so all that kind of stuff, whatnot. Mm-hmm. And that was tearing my body up, bro. I wasn't able to. I was tired. I wasn't drinking no water. I wasn't eating no fruit. But I can't even remember eating no fruit or no vegetables. Barely any water. It was Powerade. So I was tired. So like in college, man, or just in general as an athlete, I recommend, man, like you definitely water. Some sort of fruits. Whatever your favorite fruits is, man, like your fruits and that water, you know what I'm saying? And stay away from that sugar, man. That stuff's bad. Yeah, like the sea moss is amazing, man. Yeah. The sea moss is incredible. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I've been using the sea moss and it's incredible, man.
How does it change your body, your body or your...
I would say, man, I use it as like a pre-workout too. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because it gives you so much energy.
It does.
You know what I'm saying? It clears you out. You know what I'm saying? It clears your system out, man. And I mean, like, man, like if you're having thyroid issues or anything with that stuff, man, it's amazing, man. Man, it's ultimately with the
I lost hella weight myself.
Yeah.
I went because when the first lockdown came, was in February, around like right before the summer, I put on like 30 pounds.
Right.
Just eating and just sitting on, not doing nothing.
Right.
And I went to the doctor, so I got my blood sugar levels checked and everything. And they told me you're still healthy, but you know what I'm saying? If you keep going down this path, it's not going to look good. So that's when I started taking herbs and, cut down on sugar.
Right.
And just kind of like, stop eating after a certain time. Right. And so I dropped like 30 pounds.
Yeah, see, that sea moss, ultimately, the sea moss is just, what it's doing is your immune system.
Right.
Your immune system, it's just building your immune system to the highest level, ultimately. If you're eating correctly and taking the sea moss, it's just boosting the immune system to the highest level to the point where, if any sickness comes in your body, it's going to
fight it off.
It's going to get destroyed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the whole point is build immunity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Build yourself up to where, nothing could stop your body but God.
Right.
I mean?
Facts.
What is like one advice you have, for a young brother that wants to achieve success through sports?
I would say, take advantage of what you can look at online. You know, seeing YouTube stuff. Go look at your favorite player. If you're a basketball player, this is what I used growing up. When I played football, Football was my favorite sport growing up. So when I played football, I found who like my favorite running back or quarterback was. At the time, it was Eddie George, and I watched everything about him. I wanted to know everything about him because he was, a Heisman Trophy winner, and he played in the Super Bowl in the NFL. Right. So what did he do as a kid? I want to know about his upbringing. Right. What did he go through? What was he doing? Where was he playing at? Go find your favorite players, whatever it is, whatever sport it is, and study them. Right. Study them. Go take advantage. Like everything is online, and it's good and it's bad, but it's good in the sense of you can go and watch all this stuff, and then you can go and do it out on the court or on the field or go work on that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Right. So like just my advice, to the younger generation is just, really stay persistent at whatever you're trying to do. Stay focused at whatever you're trying to do. And even if things are going wrong, keep going. Do not give up. Giving up is where you lose. Right. As long as you stay in it. One thing I learned, this is what I learned in life. Sports, life, whatever. One thing I learned is when I keep pushing, no matter if it looks bad or whatever, eventually I'm going to get the result that I want. I've always gotten the result I wanted. Right. I don't care if it took 7 or 8 years. Exactly. I always got the result I wanted. But when I played basketball, I left here, went out to Arizona. I got the result that I wanted. Why? I got cut from this school. I kept going. Right. I eventually got what I wanted. Exactly. A full ride scholarship up out of there to a university. Right. And to another. I got what I wanted. Right. I came here. I came back from Germany. Boom, with the acting stuff. I shot out to LA. I kept running to little errors and trials and all types of little situations there. Right. Kept going. Boom. Landed in my first show. Mm-hmm. I didn't do nothing special. Right. You just kept going. I was just working. Right. I was just, I want to do this. Okay. This is how you do it. Okay. Oh, I messed up. Okay. Well, I messed up doing it this way. Let me try it this way. I messed up doing it that way. Let me try it this way. Right. I'm going to keep trying it until it works. Something works. Exactly. That's all. That's real. That's my advice, man. Keep going. Just keep going. Yeah. Whatever you're doing. Like
Dejuan said, keep going because, if one door closes, there's going to be another one. You know what I'm saying? And there's always a way out. There's always a way out. As long as you're alive and your heart's beating, there's always a way out. Whether you're a felon, whether you're, a young guy, whether you're old, whatever, how old you are, there's always a way out. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And I appreciate all you guys that's tuning in right now watching this. And, my brother, man, it was a good friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you coming out. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate
and giving all this information to the young brothers out there watching.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in. See you guys next time.
Appreciate you, my brother, man.
Yes, sir.